Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm CJ Mack, and we're back with another week of the Arkansas Football Recruiting Report with our very own Otis Kirk. And Otis, we've seen this week Luke Brown, the offensive tackle, committed to the University of
Yeah.
Arkansas this week. The 6'5", 300-pound guy is coming to Fayetteville. How
Yeah, he
big is that commitment to Arkansas?
pretty big. He had 28 offers. Uh, a four-star offensive tackle who made a trip here. First time he came was on March the 5th. And at that time, Cody Kennedy and Sam Pittman offered him a scholarship. He went back home, and it was just a matter of getting his parents here with him, letting them see the situation. So they came to the scrimmage last weekend. They were at that open scrimmage, and they parents obviously liked what they saw. So he went home, and on Tuesday he became a Razorback. It's huge because he, of the 28 offers, 8 of them were SEC. And, some people freaked out when I wrote that he picked Arkansas over Vanderbilt. Well, he had offers for Tennessee, Georgia,
Oh, yeah.
Kentucky, Mississippi
Big offers.
State, Ole Miss, Missouri. I mean, he had a lot of offers. The kid liked Vanderbilt's academic stuff. He liked Arkansas's, just everything about Arkansas. So, I mean, everybody doesn't like the same thing, but it wasn't like that was the only offers he had. He had Florida State. He had a ton of out of state, Michigan State. He had a ton of offers from outside the SEC. So that was a huge pickup for Arkansas. You get a four-star offensive lineman like that, he can play. He's 6'5", he can play tackle, but he can also slide inside if he needs to. It'll depend on what they do, where they need him, but he's capable of playing all over the offensive line. That was a great pickup for Sam and Cody. I mean, he joins Joey Sue from Bentonville. That's 2 offensive linemen. I think they're going to get 2 or 3 more, and they're in on some strong ones there. But we'll see how that falls. But yeah, it was a great pickup for Arkansas, and it got them up to 11 commitments. Now they've lost one since then. We'll talk about later. So
Yeah,
back to
big time pickup, over 25 plus offers. My goodness. And a couple of those from the SEC opponents. But also, we also got another guy that's going to be making a commitment this week. It's going to be tomorrow. Malachi Singleton, the guy we talked about last week, the quarterback,
yeah.
the dual quarterback who can run, who can pass, who can do it all. What do you expect from Singleton tomorrow?
I really think he'll be a Razorback. We're talking about a kid that produced over 3,000 and nearly about 3,400 yards of total offense last year, 49 touchdowns,
Wow.
and of 225 passes, he threw 3 interceptions. CJ, 3 interceptions out of 225 passes. That's KJ Jefferson territory.
Yeah.
And I love Malachi. I know he's a 4-star, and there was other quarterbacks. But Malachi was my favorite the whole time simply because of this. He reminds me so much of KJ. He's 220 pounds. He can do a lot of the things that KJ can do. KJ did that same thing, and he's willing to run the football. He had 1,037 yards, 25 touchdowns rushing the football last season, 24 touchdown passes, 2,348 yard passes. So this is a kid that throws the football, protects it, doesn't turn it over, runs it, and it's going to pick Arkansas, Central Florida, Georgia, and Florida are going to be who he chooses from. He's going to put the caps down, but I'd be shocked if he didn't pick up the Arkansas cap. He was here this weekend. He was also here March the 5th for Prospect Day, Junior Day, whatever you want to refer to them, the same thing. But he was here March 5th. He came back this weekend, took a good visit, brought his family with him, just like Luke Brown did the previous weekend. To me, that's always a great sign when they come and they bring their family and they make a decision the next day or two. And so I look good thing for Malachi. And I mean, that's a huge pickup considering that Arkansas signed 2 quarterbacks 2 years ago. Lucas Coley is transferred to Houston. Yep. Landon Rogers is playing wide receiver. They signed nobody in the 2022 class. So it was imperative. I mean, it was a must. They're down to 2 scholarship quarterbacks. And so it was a must that they sign at least one in this class. And they got Malachi. And people have asked me who I think they would sign 2 quarterbacks, CJ. Here's my thinking on that. If KJ were to go pro after the season, right, or Malik hit the transfer portal or whatever like that, if they lost one of those 2, then I think you'd have to. I think what they might do, though, and this is me talking, this is not coming from the inside of it, I think what Arkansas would probably do is go to the transfer portal if they had to get another quarterback to go with Malachi. I don't think right now they'd go to the high school ranks to do that, because if you lose KJ, or you lose Malik, you're losing upperclassman quarterback.
Right.
As much as a sophomore redshirt junior can be upperclassman. But anyway, Malik is an upperclassman considering he's one of only 2 scholarship quarterbacks. So you have some good walk-ons. You have some guys that, those 2 kids over there walk-on, hey, they were scholarship players at other schools, good schools. And so it's not like they're void of quarterbacks. But my opinion is Malachi would probably be it. But if they went to another quarterback, I would think probably the transfer portal. And let me throw in one thing real quick. And a lot of people don't know about the transfer portal, and this is kind of new. If to be eligible, Arkansas's got 3 scholarships left, CJ. And for those kids in the portal to be eligible to play in 2022, they have to be in the transfer portal by May the 1st.
Oh, wow.
They got to be there by May the 1st. They don't have to commit to a school by May the 1st. But if any kid's going to be in the transfer portal, going to plan on playing in 2022, the fall, they've got to be in the transfer portal by May the 1st. So this is getting huge. Expect a very busy next 2 to 3 weeks of April, because this is when kids are going to have to make a decision. Do I want to stay where I'm at, or do I want to transfer? And I think you're going to see a mass jump in the, several hundred kids, a few hundred kids. Well, I don't think several, but a few hundred kids will get in the portal. Well, I want to emphasize once again, you don't have to choose a college by then. Right. You just have to be in the portal by May the 1st.
Something I said on Twitter yesterday, Otis, is not Mortal Kombat, it's Portal Combat, because everybody's in the transfer portal right now. And you talked about KJ Jefferson leaving. He very well could if he plays anything like he did last year, but they still got Cade back there who's a little veteran as well. So he could still be here next year along with Malachi Singleton if he chooses Arkansas tomorrow. We'll be up to date on that on tomorrow. But Anthony Evans, wide receiver, he had some bad news for the University of Arkansas. He decommitted from the Razorbacks this week. Why do you think he decommitted?
I think he got overwhelmed by the number of, he committed early. He committed on, November the 25th of last year. I think he got overwhelmed by the number of, he was getting Georgia, OU, Tennessee, Nebraska, Colorado, Utah, Arizona. He got a lot of offers since he committed to Arkansas. And I think these recent ones from Georgia and OU kind of made him take a step back and think, did I do this too early?
Right.
I want to what he said was, and I understand it, he wants to make sure that he made the right decision and didn't rush. He says he's still considering Arkansas, although I will say this, very few kids decommit from Sam Pittman. And most of the time when kids decommit from a school, not always, but I'm saying majority of the time, they don't go back to the school they decommitted from. So I don't really look for Anthony Evans to be in this class. But I will say this, he is an outstanding track guy. And I don't know where he would go to get a better combination of football and track than Arkansas. But, Anthony's going to do what he needs to do, and that's make the best decision he thinks for himself. And hopefully at the end of the day, that's what he does, is make the best decisions for himself.
That's true. Sometimes you do make decisions a little early and have to pull back just a little bit. But he also got some offers from Arizona, I believe, wasn't it, Otis?
Yeah, Arizona was there. Yeah, he got like 9 offers since he committed to Arkansas, and definitely Arizona was one of them. So he's got some options there, and he's got 22 offers. If my math, I'm pretty sure he's got 22 offers overall, CJ. So he had a lot of offers when he committed to Arkansas. But I really think, and I started wondering about this when OU, Georgia, and some of those schools started offering. I'm thinking, I wonder if he's going to rethink this thing a little bit. But like I said, I think one thing, if there's anything Arkansas has going for them, obviously the coaches, but I think, like I said, the combination of football and track, this kid is a super good sprinter. He's Isaiah Sagagna caliber of a sprinter, and that's pretty darn good. So, that's why you always think, looking for that combo of football and track, Arkansas's always got to be up there for a kid like that. So we'll see how it plays out. He stepped away, but that doesn't mean he's gone. Although if I were going to bet, I'd bet he's probably gone. It's just, I'm playing the odds there. I'm looking at the odds, CJ. Most of the time they don't go back where they decommitted from. It has happened, but it doesn't usually. It just doesn't usually happen.
All right, let's move on to the defensive lineman, Charlie Collins, who we talked about last week. You expected him to get a lot more offers than he would have had on the table last week, but only a week later,
only a week later, exactly what we said on here would happen. Arkansas State offered him, then Arkansas offered him last Saturday. And I said on the show last week, I said, now that Arkansas is offered, And I don't know what it is, but when Arkansas doesn't offer, schools look skeptical at that kid. You know, like, okay, now look, just jumped in, and now Grambling has jumped in too. Right. And I promise you, they won't be the last two to jump in. You know, once Arkansas offered, they knew. But I'm going to tell you, there's a story on Pig Trail Nation in Hogville. Interview, it ran Friday. I interviewed the kid Wednesday night, and I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry, it ran Saturday. I interviewed him Thursday night, ran Saturday. Anyway, he talked about his love for Sam Pittman. I mean, he is just, boy, Sam Pittman made a huge impression on it. He said he's not like a lot of head coaches. He said this guy was around the whole visit, didn't go sit in his office and let the assistants handle all of it. Sam Pittman was out there out there with them during the visit, cracking jokes, making his family feel comfortable here. His mother and her boyfriend, they felt comfortable. I'm going to tell you, Arkansas, no matter who offers Charlie, they're going to be hard to beat because Sam Pittman has really made it. And I'll shout out to Keith Jones, too, assistant D-line coach over there, and Deke Adams. He really praised both those guys. He said Big Glitch, who is Keith Jones, really showed him a lot of love, you know. And Arkansas is doing that. They're making these kids, when they get on campus, feel so comfortable, like it's a family atmosphere, CJ. And, you know, you can look in the story, the things he said he's interested in for college. And everything he said was what he'd said about Arkansas. And I asked about what does Arkansas fit that? And he said, exactly. So, I mean, the Hogs are going to be hard to beat. He's an in-state kid. You know, he said, look, I've been in Arkansas South my entire life. I don't want to go where I feel like I'm an outsider.
Right.
You know, he doesn't want to go where he feels like an outsider. This kid's really sharp. For his age, it's really sharp interview. I really thoroughly enjoyed it Thursday night, CJ. He was really very thorough with everything. He's not just throwing stuff out off the top of his head. He's thought this stuff through. And that's why I think eventually he'll be a Hog. And Sam Pittman deserves a lot of credit. When they get Collins, I think Sam Pittman deserves a ton of the credit.
It's always good to be home. That Southern hospitality is a little different.
Yeah, and you know,
how big is Charlie Collins, and what offers is he getting?
6'4", 265. Right now, you know, he's got the two SEC offers with Arkansas and Ole Miss. You're looking at Grambling and Arkansas State also. But as I said, these are not going to be the last four offers he gets. I mean, once Arkansas offered, I knew the offers would start coming in. That's exactly what happened. And now they're going to continue to come in until he makes a decision. But he's about 6'4", 6'5", 265 pounds, and just a man. And we're talking about a 10th grader. Wow. And we're talking about a kid in the 10th grade. So a young man, kid, whatever you want to call him. I aggravate some people say I call kid, but look, man, I don't mean disrespect. I mean, I call my son, one of them nearly, you know, they're old, and I call them all kids. So that's just my terminology. It's not a disrespect to anybody. I promise you that. It's a habit, I guess, calling people kids. But anyway, yeah, there's certainly no disrespect meant from me to anybody. I respect the heck out of these kids because they're all so much more mature and knowledgeable than I was at that age. I mean, I was an idiot at that age, and I talked to Charlie Collins. I'm impressed, you know. And I will say this. Let me throw this out. I know we got to go. Cody Taylor, 8th grader from Greenwood, came up yesterday along with Cash Archer, a 9th grader, older brother of Kane. Let me tell you, Cody Taylor is about 6'3", and this is without shoes, CJ. We're talking about without shoes.
Without shoes.
270 pounds, 8th grade. And I bet you.
What?
I'm going to say there's not an ounce of baby fat on that kid. Now, Adam was trying to tell me yesterday, Adam, that he had a little baby fat on him. Well, it ain't much. I tell you what. I got all this fat, you know. But, no, I'm telling you, man, this kid is in the 8th grade, moved here from Kansas City. And he told me, he said, he praised Sam Pittman. He was up here yesterday. He loved Cody Kennedy and Cal Loggins. Cash up here, a linebacker, you know. Man, he's Kane's big brother, not little brother, older brother. And, yeah, I tell you what, that Greenwood is, you know, Chris Young does a great job down there with that program. Rick Jones did before that, and the coaches before that did a job. But, man, you look at the Connor Nolans, Drew Morgans, the Grant Morgans that come out of that school, the Hannas, the Morgan and Jordan Hanna. I mean, they're all class kids from a class program. And I don't have ties to any program, but I'm telling you, Greenwood's got it really going on. One thing they do, CJ, they start in the 3rd grade teaching a system. And those kids in the 3rd grade learn that system till they're seniors. And so when they get up to high school, they're ready to play. And I think it's just amazing that there's if they don't win the state championship every year, but they're competing for it every single season. Obviously, no one wins it every year, but I think they're one of the best high school, one of the best programs in the state, anywhere, not just Arkansas. I'm not going to limit to Arkansas, anywhere. They really do a great job down
there. That 8th grader, 6'3", 270, you said?
Yes. And then I'm talking about that's legit. I mean, we've got a picture of him in the story I wrote this morning. You can see him standing next to Cody Kendi. I'm sorry, not Sam. He was standing next to Cody Kendi and Dow Loggins. And I'm telling you, he towers over even Cody Kendi. And so, yeah, it's legit. And that's 6'2.5", 6'3" without shoes. So, I mean, and I list them an inch taller when it's just me listing because they play in shoes, not just shoes, they play in cleats. So, but whatever. I mean, you get an accurate height, you do measure without shoes. And like I said, it's 6'2.5", 6'3". And well, I tell you what, I mean, this kid he's gonna blow up in the coming years. I mean, and he'll be in the 9th grade. I tell you, Greenwood's got he and Kane Archer in the 9th grade next year. That is 2 studs, man. I don't make a habit of seeing much junior high football, but well, they may be with the varsity. But if they play junior high, we'll definitely be watching them play varsity or whatever. I know if I'm the coach, they're playing varsity with me, but I mean, Coach Young knows he's got more about football than I know, so he'll do what he thinks is best for the program and best for himself, best for the kids, and make the right decision, whatever that is. But no, it's going to be fun watching those kids the next four years after this and Cash the next 3 years. It's going to be interesting. There'll definitely be some recruiters heading to Greenwood. They may not know where Greenwood. Some may not know where Greenwood right now is, but it's going to be where's Fort Smith because I know where Greenwood is. Right. They're going to forget. They're going to be knowing where Greenwood is. May not know where other towns are. But they're going to know where Greenwood is.
It's a busy week for Arkansas football recruiting this week, and tomorrow we'll look out for Malachi Singleton, the quarterback, to see where he commits to. Hopefully, it's the University of Arkansas. Otis, I appreciate you stopping by for the Arkansas football recruiting report. Let's do it again next week.
You bet. Thanks a lot, CJ. Appreciate you, man.